the beginning of humanity. Some of the world's toughest, largest, and most brutal armies were recruited and dominated history. But the Genghis Khans and Napoleons of the world are second to that of the one and only Kelly Collins, also known as Cadet Kelly the Great. Cadet Kelly was a Disney original movie that came out in 2002 when the Lizzie McGuire series was at its peak, and even the toddler version of me was rocking her merch. It's no doubt that Hilary Duff was seen as a commodity in TV and film at this time. The movie is deemed coming of age, and the very first scene, the introduction, shows the hip, swag, punk teen that is our protagonist. So right away we meet Kelly. And Kelly, she's not like other girls. She has a blue streak in her hair, and she's quirky and different. And instead of doing the mainstream activities that regular girls do, she does this twirl dance thing in the middle of a park. Can someone tell me if this is like a sport or something? I don't know, but this girl is just dancing with streamers like a village squire peasant from the 15th century in Europe. But either way, that's how we're introduced to this main character. And then right away we meet her dad, who's like trying to balance on a brick wall and then falls down literally out of nowhere. And her dad is this vlogger before vlogging was a thing. So to all you travel vloggers on YouTube out there, bow down to your king. So we see Kelly's life as super fun and whimsical as she's in this fancy private school for the arts. Then we're brought to her life at home, and that's where things go differently. First, we see her mom having this important private phone call, and then Kelly's just like shoving her camera in her face and narrating everything. Okay, like I get that they wanted to introduce her family members this way and also show that Kelly's like into film, but goddamn, this just makes her seem so annoying. Then it shows her divorced parents talking to each other.
Excellent. Yeah, that was good. A nuclear family that once exploded. Kelly, no.
This girl is just stirring the pot. Like, she wants her parents to throw hands at this point. And then we watch Kelly film her stepdad, like, make out with her mom, pretty much. Then, while she's filming it, she hits him in the nose with her camera. He starts bleeding, and she keeps filming it. I don't remember this part of the movie, and I don't remember it being introduced this way, because all I'm getting is the world's most annoying 8th grader that doesn't know how to deal with her problems. But then again, have you met an 8th grader? So as the plot moves forward, her mom breaks the news to her that they're moving out of New York and Kelly would be sent off to the military school, of which her stepdad is the principal of. Consequently, she has a dramatic breakdown, and it's one of the most cliche mom versus daughter arguments ever.
Amanda, your parents won't even notice.
Kelly, you're much too much fun to leave behind. And you know what? Families don't leave anyone behind.
Oh, wait a second.
Family means nobody gets left behind.
Okay, Disney. Reusing some old quotes, I see. Interesting. So, Kelly arrives to military school and immediately criticizes the lack of art on the walls.
I can't believe I have to sleep in a place without a single decent piece of art on the walls.
Girl, what did you expect military school to be? Do you want it in the fucking Louvre? Then she meets her friend, who then warns her of this super evil, stone cold captain girl named Jennifer that they meet later on. Then all the girls start to fawn over this guy who is of course named Brad. The writers took exactly 1 second to think of that name. So Brad is the cadet major, and I tried so hard not to cringe at this, but it's so bad. It's so bad.
And he goes to school here?
Why not me?
No, my bad, I'm sorry.
So then we finally meet this girl, Jennifer, whose name is Captain Stone. Do you get it? Because she's like a stone. She's like ice cold. It's a symbol. Do you get it? No, like seriously, like guys, do you get it? They play her up to be this insanely mean, unnecessarily rude girl that destroys Kelly's stuff and constantly calls her maggot. And as cliche as they make this girl out to be, they did a good job of making us want to hate her right away, which is good, I guess. Because I remember watching this as a kid, and I hated this bitch so much, you guys. But not as much as I hated Kate from the Lizzie McGuire movie, that's a whole other video. And then after this, we finally meet the coveted Brad that everyone was hyping up so much. And I cannot stress the averageness of this dude. He looks like someone that bullied me at my Catholic middle school. Kelly compares him to a member of NSYNC and then proclaims her undying love for him to her friend Carla and makes it her mission to impress him at this upcoming dance. Then there's this really weird standoff moment with her and Captain Stone or Jennifer, showing that they're like fighting over this extremely average boy. It's just kind of weird. After this, we see Kelly try to do some of the obstacles and physical activities of military school, and she keeps falling over and landing in the mud and being all weak, which is, you know, for the purpose of humor, but it is a little bit overdone to the point where it's like, okay, we get it, she's not strong, we get it, how many more times is she gonna have to fall over before it becomes a garbage Lele Pons vine from 2013? So Kelly takes literally so long to do this obstacle course that now it's nighttime and the dance has started and she's covered in mud from the rain. And then there's this like spectacle of a scene where she just like slides into the dance, falls onto Jennifer and ruins her white dress. And although this is very unrealistic, I mean, how do you fall into a dance? Like, that just doesn't happen. Even though it's unrealistic, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty funny, and I remember watching this as a kid and just cracking up. It was one of my favorite scenes. So then we bounce back and forth between her military school life and her home life, with the principal being her stepdad and her mom announcing her new pregnancy. It shows how she's trying to adjust to everything and adds some depth. But it's actually kind of awful how little her mother and stepdad care about Kelly's feelings with all of this. They just go ahead and make these huge life decisions whether Kelly likes it or not, so it's kind of no wonder that Kelly acts out. Then immediately after this, we see that Kelly's back on her bullshit when she decides to get revenge on Captain Stone, because Captain Stone tore up her blanket. So Kelly decides that her best move is to paint her hair while she's sleeping, because she's an artist, you guys. She's different. And consequently, there's a pretty funny redemption scene where the big, scary Captain Stone is displayed to be completely vulnerable by Kelly's little prank. So once again, all of you prank channels on YouTube, bow down to the queen. But then the prank that she pulls comes right back at her when she overhears her mom and stepdad talk about how awful she is and how she's ruining everything at the school. You know, good old small talk. And they decide that Kelly will eventually have to appear in cadet court. And please just take one good guess at who you think this judge is at the cadet court. You guessed right. It is the perfect man, Brad. That was my mom texting me. So then Brad pronounces Kelly as guilty, and her punishment is to join the drill team, which is literally just like the high school color guard, but without all the fun costumes and weird theater kids. And Kelly's like, oh my god, this sucks, I just want to twirl my streamers. So then Kelly complains to her friend Carla about how much she doesn't like military school. And Carla throws a reverse card at her and talks about how her home life was so bad that coming to this school was like heaven for her. After some time, we see the drill team perform, and I know it's supposed to be all sophisticated and lucrative and whatnot, but I mean, I laughed a little bit, especially with the overly epic music playing. This is music that would maybe fit climbing Mount Everest, but not 14-year-olds doing like a structured dance sequence. So then Brad talks about how the team needs improvement by listing a bunch of synonyms.
Inspiration. Originality, creativity.
And then, I guess to cheer him up, Kelly starts doing the most cringy dance I've ever seen. I don't know what the point of this is, but it was just awful to watch. But then this cringy dance is actually like the inspiration for the drill team's like new dance, I guess. It doesn't really make sense and it's just really cringy, but I don't know, kind of a weird plot point there. But as Kelly joins the team and works with them, she starts to like the people and the art of it, I guess, and becomes a real member. This is meant to be her source of character development, and we see her become a more mature, grown-up character, hence the coming-of-age movie genre that this falls under. Then there's a good second where we see her change and reach out to her enemy, Captain Stone, where they bond over dance moves for the team. But then when they're about to go on for their like big final performance, the dance team happens to get very pissed off at Kelly for bringing in her phone because I guess they could have gotten disqualified, but then she kind of pulls the divorced parent card and everyone's like still mad at her. It's just really weird. It's kind of a weak plot point that's just kind of thrown in. But she's worried that her dad is hurt because he falls down a lot. And I guess he was like supposed to call her when he got there, but like he didn't. So instead of performing with the rest of the team, she looks for her dad with her stepdad, and they find him in this like abandoned forest area. Like, first of all, how did they know he was there? And why was he screwing around by like these big rocks? Like, I don't remember this part of the movie at all, and when I watched it, I was so confused. So then Kelly uses her magic military skills that she learned to get her dad from this rock pit in the middle of a forest. Then she sees her military dance team afterwards, and she sees Captain Stone do this like streamer dance, which was like, when was this coordinated? When was this planned? Like, it's very much out of nowhere, and is just for the sake of tying all the plot's loose ends together. So the movie wraps up with Captain Stone making Kelly a platoon leader like her, and everything is all happy and good, and yay, Kelly came of age. This movie is really cute and I loved it as a kid, but there are a lot of plot points that don't really make sense, aren't explained, or are just kind of forced in. It's very obviously a coming-of-age movie, and it has a pretty good balance between cute and fun and cliche and tacky. I loved Hilary Duff as a kid, and watching this again made me realize how much I actually missed when I watched it the first time around. It was also really nostalgic, and even though this movie did have its plot holes and poorly written dialogue, it's still better than 99% of the Disney Channel original movies that they put out nowadays, which all of them are so terrible. But let me know what your thoughts were, and if you remember this movie, this piece of Disney Channel cinematic history, the same way you did when you first watched it as a kid. And as always, thank you for watching.
You're disrespecting a future U.S. Army soldier.